Yeah,
What is
yeah.
up, everybody? What is up?
What's good, peeps? Today, hey, welcome to the Due Diligence After Dark live stream. This is episode five, five,
Five?
five,
Six?
five or six. It's probably five.
I
We are
don't
going to
even
be
know
talking
anymore.
about the importance of active income. All right, so we both have active incomes in the game of real estate, and so I think it's kind of important to also state that after a while, it becomes a mundane kind of like chore at some point in time. Like, well, shit, I gotta do this fix and flip over and over again. It's the same kind of situation, and you're expecting un. Well, I'm expecting always unknowns and surprises, and I'm like, great, give me more surprises. What else can I find in these behind these walls and this home inspection and what else can contractors steal from me? Oh, what else can they get away with? Like that's the active side of fixing and
Tell
flipping.
us, tell us how you really feel. Tell us how you really feel, bro.
So the active side of fixing and flipping, you will always have surprises. Your margins will most likely shrink in most cases, not always. You will always have surprises in a sense of more expenses, more things you didn't know you had to repair. You'll have contractors quit on you. You have contractors that don't show up on work. You'll have contractors that won't complete things on time. And you'll probably have partners that will screw you over, simply put. And that's the active side of the business. And you can make a lot of money for sure going through it, but just be aware that you still got to do it day in and day out unless you got a large pool of passive cash flow coming in. But you can't have that until you do some fixing and flipping and or active income wholesaling, and then you can parlay that money into a more passive side of the business, either being a lender or buying rentals. And I personally did not leave my 9 to 5 software job through buying passive, quote unquote, rental property. I actually had to flip my way to freedom. And I'm still flipping to this day because I'm like a crackhead.
The man's never free, dude.
Yeah. I just transferred from one hamster wheel to maybe a more spacious hamster wheel, right? But the thing is, I still got to do this. And I think so I guess the next question is like when does it end, right? It fucking never ends. It never ends.
It can end.
Yeah, I can't end.
It can. I think that the most important thing, though, like, I was gonna go on my own like rant,
Go.
but I'm glad you started off that way. But basically, like for me, I think what people need to understand is, well, let's look at like real estate as a whole, right? Like, why do people want to start real estate investing? I think like back in 2020, 2021, when real estate got really popular online, like I don't know if you noticed, like there was like a huge like craze over
Yeah,
like real
there is.
estate back in the day. And I think it was such a big craze because everyone wanted to get financially free to real estate. And if you've been in the game for a little bit, like you don't have to be like super deep in the game or been in it for, 5, 10 years, whatever. Once you own like a stack of single families, you'll start to realize like, yeah, it's cool to have rental properties. And I think it's a very nice like flex, I suppose. Like, oh, I have 16 properties.
Yeah.
But when you like put it by the average amount of cash flow per property, you still don't have money to like quit your job.
Yep.
So that like active income or that income you get from the real estate, the passive income you get, you need a crap ton of properties
Dude.
or a lot of income to quit, right? To be
Yep.
free. So when people want to get started in real estate for the active income side to quit their job, like long-term rentals aren't the true vehicle to get there. It's active income. And
100%.
And when yeah, it's crazy. And when you talk about active income, it's not just real estate. It could be your W-2 as well. So like if
Yep.
you're making 200 grand a year as a software engineer, that's 200 grand, bro, a year. Like that's pretty good active income, right?
Not
So
net, but gross.
yeah, that's your gross, but then like if you're unhappy with that, how do you like quit your job? You need more money, right? It's not like six rentals. It's how can I make, 400 grand? How can I make 500 grand a year, right? And whatever your financial freedom number is, but for me, it would have taken me like 40 properties to, match my salary that I have,
Yeah,
which
roughly
is
about, yeah.
disgusting.
Well, yeah. Let's kind of break it down real quick. I'd say if you're lucky, you get $500 like net per month on a rental, just for easy numbers, right? So 500 rentals. Let's say you make 100 grand, let's say a year on average. That's about, was that 7 grand? No, what is that? Divided by
Wait, you talk
12.
about
That's about
500?
8 grand a month. Roughly 8 grand a month. You literally need, well, that's not taking your net. So let's just say you net like $80,000 a year, right?
From your rentals?
No, from just your
Oh, oh,
W-2
oh,
job,
my
your
W-2.
W-2 job,
Okay.
right? So that's about $6,500 a month. So $6,500 a month, divide that by 500, let's say you make on average, you need 13 rentals to cash flow. $500 a month net without any expenses, without any repairs, without any increase in premium, taxes, increase in property, right? You need $500 a month net per property.
I'll tell
And
you.
each property can cost up to anywhere between
Oh
two
my
hundred thousand
God.
dollars plus, if not maybe a little less depending on where you're at. But like you gotta shell out a lot of cash in order for you to get that.
Or borrow a lot of debt.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, dude,
exactly.
like, I mean, if you got debt looming, oh man, I want to talk about something else specifically, but
Yeah, yeah.
like for
Go
my
ahead.
for my single families, like I have six Iowa properties in Iowa, and the condo fee, the HOA fee, like skyrocketed like 6 months after we bought it, and the deal, like we have tons of investors like on this deal, and like we're very open about this deal. Like it breaks even
Yep.
after the condo fees increased. So like we're telling people like, listen, when we bought this bad boy, like it was making like $1,200 a month. And we were super happy with it and we were paying, our investors. But now we're like, guys, like we can't pay you. Like we didn't lose
Mm,
money. They're equity holders,
right.
but like, hey, dude, like the condo fee like literally went up $2,000 this year. Like you know what I mean? Like we're like, what
Very
the
good.
hell? And then, HVAC went out,
Yep.
AC went out 2 weeks ago. We just got the email today. Hey, you got to pay for the AC. It's just, that stuff just eats away your cash flow. But what I'm trying to get to the precipice of this discussion is you want to buy rentals, one, and then you also want to buy rentals with no money, right, out of your pocket.
Yep.
That's what everyone's taught.
Yep.
And how many people do you know that have gone upside down because they're trying to over leverage themselves and they don't have active income to bail them out?
I know a couple of people. Yeah. Yeah. It's a tough game because it's also about money management more than anything. You can make a shit ton of money, right? Like you can do wholesaling, you can do fixing and flipping, you can do whatever it is plus your W-2 job. But if you have poor money management, you are so fucked. So fucked. You are. Simply
Yeah,
simply
yeah.
put.
I mean, look at NFL players that or
Yeah.
basketball players that make millions and millions of dollars and they're declaring bankruptcy 10 years after like the league. That's
Yeah.
horrible money management, bro.
Yeah, I know a couple
You
of
know?
professional, or I know one professional guy that's in sub two that I mean, he's a good guy. He just trusted the wrong folks in the beginning, and he got, like murdered, and like people like scammed him, and now he's kind of like, I don't know where he's at now, but I hope you all the best. But like, he could be like, scraping by. So that's the thing, like poor money management, and also like vetting your person that you invest in is also crucial. And then actually understanding the money game is also like money management. Understanding the money game is like I think the biggest thing you could possibly do, the best thing you could possibly do as a skill, as like a knowledge, so that you're not going to get screwed in the future. And also just make sure that you are aware of actually how much money you're making at the end of the day, so you can actually invest it appropriately, so that way you can work less. So
I agree.
you know, on top of the active income side of things. So like obviously, yeah, I do this full time. Tim does this part time because he's got a job. But more or less, I'm always actively growing my skill sets. I'm learning new things so I can quote unquote make more money. The bigger problems you solve, the more money you make. That's just kind of how it goes in this world, whether you like it or not, whether you want to just be like whatever and just watch Netflix all day and, jerk off, whatever, then that's your prerogative. But you need to learn a skill in order for you to make money. You can't complain about I don't make enough money and then, shit on the world because of X, Y, and Z and woe is me. Just work and learn. That's all you have to do and
I
you can
saw this
apply.
video. I saw this video about if you had only $10,000 to your name,
Uh,
do and then you can invest it in crypto or you can invest it into a skill. And he's like, everybody in this world wants to get rich fast, right?
yeah,
They
me
want to
too.
get rich quick. Yeah, I mean, we all do, right?
Yeah,
Like
me
that's the
too, bro.
dream. But if you put it, they want to find all these vehicles to do it, like crypto or whatever stocks. And what this video said was, you have a higher chance this crypto that you invested $10,000 goes to zero, and then you have nothing else after that.
Yep.
Or you can learn a skill like sales and marketing, where if you did hit zero, you have the ability to make money. Like
Yep.
if you have like a sales background, like I've learned sales over the years, you can sell anything, bro. Like you can sell real estate, you can sell coaching, you can sell life insurance, you can sell cars if you really wanted to.
Yep.
If you could sell something, you can make money, but that sales is just something that's stuck in my head, but you can
Right.
literally learn any skill and make active income with that skill.
Yeah. I saw the same video. Like basically, in a nutshell, you can spend $10,000 on crypto, and you have a high likelihood of it going to zero because you have no idea what you're investing in. Really, you're just going with the crowd. But if you spend $10,000 learning a skill, it will go to zero for sure. But you have the potential to earn that $10,000 back with higher leverage because it is basically up to you, and you are the best investment. If you don't think so, then there's something actually wrong with you. You don't actually believe in your own self. Like you're not self-assured, you're not self-confident. So whenever I invest in these quote unquote expensive ass masterminds and mentorships, I think it's freaking crazy too, honestly, guys. So don't, it is what it is, but I am going there of the mindset that I'm going to be learning a skill and learning people that actually want to do the same thing. So even though I spent $30,000 or $10,000, I will get a skill or a partner out of it and make my money back because that's my mindset and my mentality. And as I'm doing that, I'm actively doing it. So it's part of my active income process.
Yeah, what do they say? Like your income producing ceiling is like the most important thing. Like
Yeah.
it's not like how much money you're actively making today, it's what your ceiling is. So,
Yeah.
you know, at the end of the day, when you tie it back to real estate, I won't personally anymore borrow money like for a single family like house and borrow like 60 grand of like private money if I cannot have the active income that can like pay it off if an emergency happens, right?
Yep.
Our commercial building that like we would buy, like they're partners with this, so it's a little different. But
Yeah.
if I was doing the old school single family way, like how I acquired my first set of properties, bro, I would not do that anymore. Like if
Yeah.
something bad happened to me, like right now, like for instance, like I have a vacancy in my midterm, right?
Yep.
So that's like $2,000 mortgage. Like I can pay that because I have active income.
Hmm.
But if I did not have active income and this is the only freaking property I have and I borrowed money for this,
You
like
screwed.
you're cooked, bro. Like you're not
Yeah.
paying a mortgage bill. So that's like the prime example of like your active income should take precedence over buying these stupid properties that make you like 400, $500 because you're
Yeah.
adding so much risk and you're just over leveraged, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I mean, I would also mention that yeah, you shouldn't buy a property, period, if you have no money to support that. I always build a war chest for my rentals because shit does happen, and when it does happen, I'm not sweating over that bill that I want to get because I already built out a war chest. And what is a war chest? Basically, it's reserve funds for things that could go wrong, rainy day fund basically. I have about $10,000 to
Mm-hmm.
$12,000 for the property that I own, and that's across all my portfolios. And then I have another $10,000 on top of that for my mortgages. So just in case, I have like two oh shit stops. I'm like, just in case, just in case. And yes, it's gonna suck because the first maybe 2 years you don't actually make any money. because I'm saving for that because I don't have to worry about that. And then the years after that, then I'm like, okay, cool, I can start taking dividends off of this now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have active income, you're totally screwed. Like honestly, I would liquidate what you have and then use that as your quote unquote your runway, your enough to support yourself, and then you can start building more active income and whatever that feels right for you. Like it could be 100 grand in the bank, and then after that you can start buying rentals. I think that's a good safe spot. Maybe $50,000, whatever you want, based on your market. But I mean, honestly, that's the importance of active income and then going to more towards passive for me.
There's a lot of people online that will say, you can buy properties with no money down. 100%,
Yeah.
right? I 100% agree with that. I just don't think most people are ready for that.
Yeah.
Like, they want to buy the real estate, they want to do all these things, they want to borrow private money, but like at the end of the day, bro, you're borrowing people's money, and first off, you don't know what the hell you're doing. Second
Mm-hmm.
of all, most of these people that are doing these zero money down deals have no money of their own name.
Mm-hmm.
And if something bad happens, they're effed, right? If income doesn't have to be real estate, bro. Guys, I know we're like real estate investors, but it doesn't have to be real estate.
Yeah.
You can get a job promotion. You can change jobs if you hate your job. You can do all these things to get paid more, or you
Yep.
can, learn how to cut hair. I don't know. I don't know. You can do
Or
anything you want.
or selfie pics, whatever you want to do, bro.
Selfie pics, like that's active income, right? I got this crazy business model where,
Yeah.
I got this idea where you just hire a bunch of VAs, you do AI feet pics. And with AI nowadays, man, you guys
Bro,
can cook,
yeah, that
like
would
you'll make a
print.
ton of money. Yeah,
That
you
would
make a
print.
ton of money. And just have VAs just like manage your whole business. But,
Oh my god.
you know, I just think like, everyone is so focused on trying to get into like a niche, like, e-commerce. Let's tag this. Hold on,
Yeah,
showing
it's
screen. Feed pics for the win, right?
yeah,
Guys,
dude.
if you guys start this business, I want 5% equity for giving you this idea, right? AI generated feed pics managed completely by your virtual assistants. You're
And your
welcome.
virtual assistant has to be guys because
Yeah,
guys know what guys want.
that's right. So this is a seven-figure business model right here. If you want active income, guys, tune in on Tuesdays,
Yeah.
6 p.m. We'll give you the sauce. Um, But yeah, guys, at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be real estate, man. It doesn't have to be. First off, real estate's horrible. You talk about like active income, bro. Like
Definitely can be.
wholesaling is horrible for most people. 90 something percent of wholesalers do not operate past 12 months,
Mm,
right? So that's
that's
a
true.
horrible statistic. You got to be a psychopath or you have to understand how business works to run a wholesale business at scale. You got to understand, but yeah, no, know the
Yeah.
consumer, be the consumer, right? But yeah, you know what I mean? Like you can flip houses, all these different things, but there's so much risk associated. Like what I've learned is like, I talked to this young man last week, right? I know his dad from work, and his son is trying to figure out like what's next for him. He doesn't want to go to college. He doesn't want to do these things, and I was
Mm,
like, well, what does he want to do? He's like, well, he doesn't know what he wants to do.
yeah.
And I'm like, well, if he doesn't have like a goal yet, or if he doesn't have like a path, why doesn't he get like a sales job and just
Yeah.
get wrecked for like 6 months, learn the game of sales, and you eat what you kill, right? And you
Yep.
develop that skill. Like think about how many people that we know started like door knocking when they were young,
Hmm.
right? Like Pace did like knocking on
Selling
doors,
religion is the
selling
hardest thing to
religion, right?
sell. The
Ultimate
hardest.
sales training, bro. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Ultimate.
So Noodle says, I bought my first three creatively using my own active income. I was
Right.
actually looking for PMLs to start acquiring more. Should I go slower for my active? Wait, should I go slower for my active to fully support the tempo? This is more of a Phil question.
It depends on how much you have in reserves. I would keep the active income going until your passive out or passes your active income, right? So your passive income has to outpace your active income. And if you are of the mindset of maybe the next one that you buy, you flip that so that way you have even more income to play with. I would consider that and then use that income to buy more rentals so that way you can offset that tax event, which is basically the capital gains tax you're going to have on that. I would try to flip a house probably towards the beginning of the year, like spring, and then that way you give more time to look for a rental to offset that income. Now, I would also this is not like CPA advice. I'm gonna do my disclosure. I'm not a CPA, whatever, right? I'm not giving you financial advice, but this is what I would do. I would do what I just said, and then I would separate the flip from the active, like different LLCs, so that way you're not taxed at a higher bracket for flipping versus rental business. They're two different tax brackets. I hope that helps. I mean, or you can just double down on the three rentals that you have right now and try to maximize the or the rental income on it. Such as you can Airbnb it out, you can rent it by the room, you can maybe do a development play on it if there's extra land on there, and do a cash out refinance then. Rates are, dropping. So depending on when you bought it at, or if you have a good interest rate right now, then just keep it. So it really depends on what your goals are and what your the target that you want to reach as far as monthly income is concerned. So hopefully that gave you something, Noodle. I love the name. I wonder if you are a Noodle, but
I just like the question is like, should I go slower for my active to fully support the tempo? It depends on how fast you want to go.
yeah, I mean,
If you buy a property like that cash flows $200, like it doesn't really make sense like cash on cash wise either, like how much money you're putting into it.
right.
But if you bought like a property that makes 7 grand a month, like a commercial property, like that
Yeah.
thing is not that's like a lot of cash, right?
Yeah, thanks for the heads up there. So the tempo is all it's obviously. Let's say you want to go to be, hit your goal next year. How would I do that? I would literally sell my three properties as a package, and then do a 1031 exchange into a commercial property,
Oh, yeah, I like
right?
that too.
So if you do a 1031 exchange, it will kick the tax payment down the road,
Until you
and
sell that one.
yeah, until you sell that one. But the thing is, let's just say, oh man, I have all my money trapped in this rental property. Cool. Let's say you buy that new commercial property all with cash because you have a lot of equity in your other three properties. You can do a cash out refinance on that property and not have a tax event on that
Cause why?
because
That's not
borrowed,
taxable.
yeah, because loans are not taxable. Exactly. You can't tax a loan.
Yep.
So,
That's bad.
yeah,
I was kidding.
exactly. So it just depends on your template, man, or girl. I don't know. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Interesting. But like long story short, guys, like if I were to redo my journey and I let's say like I didn't choose to go to school, I would probably do a sales job, man, or figure out something. But like that's just like my avatar. Like I would rather like do something where, you know, the harder I go, like the more money I can make. But if you're going the W-2 route, it's cool to buy real estate, but you'll hear a lot of people like you start to see it nowadays. Like people are starting to realize that real estate is not all that in terms of like,
Dude,
you
it's
know,
all that, bro. We talking
yeah,
about?
no, it's not all that. It's not all that. But like, in reality of it, it's like you see a lot of people selling off their single families because, like, literally, I just talked to a seller like last week. He bought 5 condos because he was a high income earning. Yeah, you know the story.
I know the story. Yeah.
He's a high earning W-2 earner, and he bought 5 condos in like 2021, thinking he was gonna become like a million, like he was gonna become like the next Grant Cardone, right? Like just scale up his real estate portfolio. And
So
you
easy.
know, last week I called him. He's going through foreclosure because he doesn't know how to manage tenants. He's doing it himself. He's got, 2 squatters in the apartments and all this stuff, and he just wants to sell it because he's gonna lose it anyway next week. So it's not as like sexy as you think. And at the end of the day, you don't have to scale super fast either. Like if you have a high income earning W-2, like what I would do is do like the step down method. So if you're working 8 hours a week as a engineer or whatever, and you're making a crap ton of money, buy a couple of houses to help you on taxes, make a little bit of passive income, and then you do it again next year, right? Just be patient. And then now you're making, a couple $1,000s a month cash flow, and then you don't necessarily have to work as hard. You can maybe work 70 hours a week. And
Mhm.
in my mind, that's a pay raise. If you're,
70 hours a week. I would say.
well, I mean, you're losing 10 hours, right? You like gain
I
10
would say
hours back a
30
week.
hours a week, but if you
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
try to do two
No,
weeks 2 weeks in one.
no, I'm talking about like 80, like, you're reducing 10 hours a week. Like,
uh,
that's a lot of time.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It's a lot of time you get back.
It is.
And then maybe you can wholesale a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
Um,
Dip into
but yeah,
the lake of fire.
I know, man. I know.
I mean, wholesaling can be fun, honestly. If you like to talk to people, I think it's your type of avenue. If you like, like more of an introvert like me, or like wants to like just handle a set of people, fixing and flipping could be your avatar or operations wise. But just pick your poison. Honestly, they're all just poisonous. It's just a matter of like what poison do you want to take.
I
Yeah.
think it's I think it's tough, man. Like even if you like talking to sellers, like if
Yeah.
you are not business oriented, it's just a grind. It's
Yeah.
you're if you don't understand like marketing, like how many people do we talk to? It's like, "Oh, I want to do wholesaling because I'm broke." And it's like, "Dude, you may not want to do this, bro." Because now you're competing with different classes of wholesale businesses,
Hmm.
and like, bro, like I'm not even near A class wholesale. A
Yeah.
class wholesale are dudes that spend like 30 grand, 40 grand a month, TV ads, mail, bulletin boards, all these different things.
Yeah.
That's who you're competing with, and then you have guys like me who are B class that spend like 5 to 10 grand a month. It's
Yeah.
like, and we got a team, we got all these different things, and then you want to watch Flip a Rick and go drive for dollars.
There's levels. There's levels to this,
There's
man,
levels, bro. There's levels.
and
So
everything.
if you're listening and you want to wholesale for active income, do not drive for dollars. You are just wasting your fucking time. Like,
Or do
I'm
it. It's
sorry
up to
for
you.
crying.
It's up to you. You can do
I'm
whatever you
just
want to.
saying, dude. Like, I talk to so many people. Like,
Yeah.
whoever watches this live show will hear the true side of me right now. Like,
Hell yeah. Let's go.
if you DM me on school, if you DM me on Instagram, and you ask for wholesale help, and I ask you what you're doing for lead generation, there's literally a guy I talked to like a month ago, and if you hear this, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just telling you, he only door knocks, okay? And you know what his goal was? He's like, I want to scale door knocking, and I don't believe in anything else. And I was like,
Yeah.
how many deals have you closed in the entire year? He goes, three. I was like, cool, man. How are you gonna scale that? Well, I'll just hire like a whole team of door knockers. I'm like, what are you doing? Selling solar? Like, how are you gonna? I was like, guys, dude, stop listening to these free 99 like YouTubers that tell you to drive for dollars. Um, what do they do? Reverse driving for dollars, where you Google Maps
Oh yeah,
addresses
yeah, 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 yeah,
and then
yeah.
you skip trace them. I'm like, guys, like, go to your damn county courthouse, go pull a records, and go fucking call foreclosures.
Yep.
There is no
Call
cheat code.
call the most highest motivated people.
Golly, golly. If I
Hey, I
hear driving
mean,
for dollars one more time, God. And then I'm gonna have people in the chat tell me like, "Oh, I got my first deal." I'm like, "Well, okay. Like you told me you wanted to do 5, 10 deals a month. Like, good luck getting 5 to 10 deals a month driving for dollars." All right, fact. I'm doing the same thing for buy and holds. I'm down to my last single family rental left that I'm going to be offloading. Multifamily, commercial, or build slash acquire businesses. Um, Yeah, I agree with that, but just be a little more dialed in. That there's a lot of different niches that you just rattled off in like a second, right? Multifamily is one asset. Commercial, what type of commercial are you talking about? And then building and acquire businesses, that's a whole different beast that people don't really understand what they want to get into. Like when you acquire a business,
there's a
like,
lot
bro,
of
I don't want to acquire employees and shit like personally, right?
yeah. I mean, acquiring a business, dude. There's so much that goes into it. Uh, yeah, you have commercials. You have There's so many things in commercial. You have retail stores. You have commercial is part of multifamily. It can be. You have warehouses. You have storage. You have so much other different asset class with different returns on investment. And then if you build slash acquire businesses, dude, that's like its own nutshell. Like you have to learn how to underwrite, you have to realize the pros and cons of each particular industry you go into. You have to learn the cash conversion cycle. You have to understand how much what your margins is, how much margins you need to acquire per customers, how much is that customer gonna the life cycle of that customer, like the value of that customer operation. You basically, it's a lot of work regardless of what you do. I would say real estate is easier than buying businesses and operating a business, simply to be put, because you have one asset class, right? And you just have to manage that asset class. With businesses, you have to manage vendors. You have to, well, also with real estate, but it's less intensive. Customers and employees and equipment. Like it's just depending on what you obviously buy, but like generally speaking, that the hardest
Yeah,
part
you
of
got to look at the accounting on that,
yeah,
dude.
yeah. The hardest thing about business is people. Like hiring good people requires a lot of money, right? It can require a lot of money. And I've had it both ways. I've had it like I rather stick with real estate, honestly speaking, because it's just an easier asset class.
Well, if you're gonna go into a business, I'd rather own like a real estate asset that's like a business, like self-storage or something, right? You,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's still a business, but you still have assets. You still have a major asset that's tied into it. And then
exactly.
Noodle, what's up, Key? It's been a long time, bro.
Uh,
This guy is a savage, dude. I met him at the Washington D.C. meetup,
oh,
and then like literally like I think like a month later, Homeboy bought like two or three creative deals.
oh, nice.
And they're all co-livings, if
Oh,
I'm not
dope.
mistaken.
Oh
So
yeah.
I hope your co-livings are crushing right now, man. That's a true action taker. But yeah, I'm curious to hear what type of businesses you're trying to acquire. But um, let us know in the comments on the channel if you have any questions. But our time is coming up here at 6:30. But at the end of the day, guys, what we're trying to say is you can be successful in anything you do. Just make sure that you're not one over leveraging yourself and just borrowing a crap ton of debt, trying to buy houses with zero money down that actually don't make a difference in your pay. Like,
Yeah.
if you're doing co-livings, they can make 3, 4 grand a month. So I think that's kind of worth it, right? But that's still a business at the end of the day. Like you're running a rent by the room business. And at the end of the day, if you want to quit your job or be free, you need to make more money. And
Hmm.
it doesn't have to be real estate. It could be anything you want to do. You just need to increase your pay. Like if you hate your life, you need to make more money at the end of the day, right? I don't know if that's as
That's
graphic as
awesome, man.
that,
It's
but
a good way to end it.
yeah. That's good. Guys, we love you guys. Appreciate you guys showing up. Keys, good to see you. Joel's good to see you.
Yeah.
Um,
Appreciate you guys.
Tune in next time, next Tuesday, 6 p.m.
See you.